All right, President Biden addressing the nation last night, the administration pushing for folks to get the booster shot and imploring business owners to use their power to force workers to implement vaccine mandates and of course, force them also to get the jabs. Now, here's the problem. For months, ever since he's come into office, President Biden has taunted businesses in their struggles to find workers. Not only has he said, pay them more on several occasions, he often leans in and whispers it for that effect. Now, the problem is that many cannot afford to pay folks more money, and certainly many cannot afford to compete with the federal government that has been laying out a whole lot of money coupled with those official unemployment benefits. Now, this morning, we saw the CEO of Red Robin. He pointed out a lack of workers has impacted the quality of his business, the guest experience, and it's reduced operating hours. I want to bring in Walser Wealth Management's Rebecca Walser. You know, Rebecca, I understand President Biden trying to enlist the help of businesses. That's fine. It's smart. But he's been so tone deaf, he's even made light of their plight. So I think it's a little ironic to suggest they have power now when they actually don't really have a lot of power. And he sort of just kind of laughed it off. And by the way, just earlier today, we heard from the Treasury Department in a letter to Democrats that suggests they might actually find a way to use more of the $350 billion in the American Rescue Plan to keep those federal unemployment benefits going. I don't know how businesses are going to compete.
Well, I need like 20 minutes with you, Charles, but I'm going to make 3 quick points very quickly. First of all, medium to small businesses are the economic growth engine of this company. Wall Street Journal did an estimate in 2017, and it found that over 60% of all people employed in America are employed at medium to small businesses. That means less than 40% are working for big employers. Now, I will just tell you as a lawyer, I have a strong caution to CEOs that are forcing the vaccine at this stage. This vaccine is an EUA, Emergency Use Authorization only, which requires under the law informed consent. Very hard to argue that you're giving informed consent when you're forced to take the vaccine. So I would recommend people let themselves be fired and then sue, because I think that's a class action lawsuit waiting to happen. Although I do want people to go back to work, so I'm not advocating against that. I'm just saying that businesses don't have the authority that they think they have, especially at the current status of this vaccine not being FDA approved. So the problem that you have with Joe Biden, he thinks that he doesn't understand economics. He thinks he can just lean over into a microphone and say, pay them more. Let me explain something. The market dictates what a job is worth. If you have to raise a job pay to so high that your business is no longer profitable, you're going to go out of business. That's how these things work, Mr. Joe Biden. That's how these things work. So you can't just say, oh, let's just arbitrarily pay more. Employers don't have the benefit of just printing debt like you're doing and just saying it can all work out. That's not reality of a business owner. So that's ridiculous. And Janet Yellen going out and saying, oh, we can still use ARP funds. They are just trying to perpetuate the over 10 million jobs that are not filled in this country because people are getting paid more to stay home and do nothing than they are to go to work. That has got to stop.
Well, maybe it may not stop. The other problem that the CEO of Red Robin pointed out is jurisdictional restrictions. And of course, this is why Goldman Sachs went to 5.5% growth this quarter from 8.5%. I think that's a huge cut. And my question to you is just, you mentioned these small and mid-sized businesses. How much longer can they deal with these abrupt hits to their business?
It's hard, Charles, and just look, even like a Red Robin, right? That's a big corporation, but you're working with tiny little, businesses all across the country. They can't get people to come in and serve people. So we can say all we want, we're getting back to normal and we have vaccines and we can go out. But if people aren't going back to work, we're not back to normal. And we can't arbitrarily raise prices just because we get government stimulus we're competing with. It does not work, and it will lower GDP. So you have all these estimates of GDP and all the debt you're putting, all the taxes you're going to collect. You're not going to collect the taxes if people are not going back to work, if they're just sitting at home for stimulus reasons.
Rebecca, thank you very much. Love your insight and your passion. Enjoy.